This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Everywhere you turn, it's the same old sports talk, the same headlines, the same news, and the same boring information. This podcast is here to change all of that. We bring you hot sports takes, winning sports betting strategy and picks, reliable gaming industry news, and breaking interviews with some of the biggest names in sports business. My name is Ryan Newpel, and welcome to the Noop Sports Show.
Hello and welcome to Noop Sports College Football Conference Previews. I'm Tom with Noop Sports, that's KNUPsports.com, where we will help you make money on sports betting. Got a sports question or you got something interesting you want to know about sports, contact Noop Sports on the web or on Twitter. Today we're going to preview the MAC Conference. I will tell you a little bit about what I like about each team and what I don't like about each team, how many wins they're going to get according to my analysis, and then we'll move from there. Let's start with the MAC, the East Division, Miami, Ohio Redhawks. 6-7 last year, 9-4 against the spread. That's a good number you may want to pay attention to. They're loaded on the offensive side of the ball. They have quarterback Gus Ragland, who had a good sophomore season. He took the controls after an 0-6 start and led Miami to 6 consecutive victories and a berth in the St. Petersburg Bowl. Ragland only has 1 interception in 179 attempts, and if he comes close to that again this year, he'll be a big factor in the conference. What I don't like about the Redhawks is the low expectation game won't cut it this time around. Odds makers figure the Redhawks to be in the thick of the race from the beginning, and they will adjust the numbers accordingly. They'll look ahead. They will have a game on September 30th at Notre Dame, and this time they'll be playing at the Irish. It's hard to concentrate on the Ball States and Austin Peay's of the world when you look forward to playing the Fighting Irish. Odds have them at 8 wins. I got them this year at 8 or 9 wins. We'll go with the over and 9 wins. Next we have the Ohio Bobcats, 8-6 straight up, 8-6 against the spread. They don't have a top flight quarterback, so therefore they have to run the ball and play defense. And this plan of attack has been pretty successful for the Bobcats as they defend their MAC East title. They have a running back in O.J. Olette, who led the team in yards gained in 2014 and 2015, and will be back after missing the entire season last year due to injury. What I don't like about the Bobcats is the quarterback spot is a problem, and the receivers have a lot of improving to do. The Ohio will be able to put great pressure on the running game and the entire defense. It was very good last year, but they'll be missing some of the top performers this time around. Bettors may want to take a long look and see how things come together before they put their money down. A lack of playmakers is a real concern for the Ohio Bobcats. They are listed at under at 7.5. I'm going to go under on the 7.5 wins. Bowling Green Falcons, 4-8 straight up, 4-8 against the spread. They were a little shocked. They went 1-8 to start the year last year. The offense was going nowhere. The passing game was non-existent. Fans couldn't even give their tickets away. And then mid-course, during they corrected things, they switched to a running game. They won 3 straight games and got a great boost of confidence from the program heading into this year. Josh Cleveland, the running back, was a hammer down the stretch, averaging more than 9 yards a carry the final 3 games. All that should make it even much easier for quarterback James Morgan to be effective this time of year. What I don't like about the Falcons, they're not really ready to play and have an impact in the conference. They don't have a top flight quarterback. The passing game is, a little iffy. They don't appear to have the depth to handle competition in and out every week. The Falcons will have the Big Ten powerhouse Michigan State in the opener and Northwestern in Game 3. That's a tough challenge for anybody, and they will be at Middle Tennessee before they begin thinking about that MAC schedule on November 30th versus Akron. So they're going to have a slow start. Season win total last year was 4. I think they're up a little bit this year. they will come up with 5.
Hey everybody, it's Ryan with Noob Sports. Hey, quick break in the action here. I wanted to tell you about a sweet promotion going on this football season at Bovada, one of the best places to bet on football. They got a 50% bonus all the way up to $250. All you got to do is head out to Noob Sports. That's knupsports.com/bet.
The Akron Zips, 5-7, 4-8 against the spread. One thing you can say about Akron is they know how to score. Quarterback Thomas Woodson has recovered from shoulder surgery. Should be able to give them a lift in this scoreboard. Akron has moved the reserve quarterback Trayvon Chapman to a wideout where the Zips are somewhat depleted. As it turns out, one thing's for sure, the quarterback will have time to throw because the offensive line returns 4 players. What I don't like about the Zips is that points come quickly and often in the MAC, and scoring could be a problem for them. With the quarterback as a bit of a concern, and the situation may be a bit unsettled, bettors could find themselves wasting their money. Another problem is they have a very soft pass rush. The Zips only had 16 sacks last year, and the defenders forced only 14 turnovers. That's a combination for lack of success. This year, the Zips win 5 games. The Kent State Golden Flashes were 3-9, 6-6 against the spread. Their numbers are not very impressive. They've been 3-9 each of the last 2 years, ranked dead last in 2015 in offense. But if you're looking for something to hang your hat on, something to consider wagering on, consider that they were competitive in several games last year, and in 3 losses were only 1 possession away from winning. Their quarterback is Nick Holley, who moved from slot receiver last year and was a threat as he threw 868 yards and rushed for 873. So that's their offense. Coach Paul Haynes is in the final year of a 5-year contract for Kent State and is under pressure to show some improvement, and that's going to be a problem. Some of their non-league games, they play Clemson, Marshall, and Louisville. It's going to be tough to get ahead of those games before conference play. The competitive games is something that you have to win. When the dust settles on the season, Kent State will be lucky to escape the bottom of the MAC East. Total wins 2 or 3. Buffalo Bulls 2-10, 4-8 against the spread. 2 winning seasons in the last 18 years makes things tough for the Buffalo fans. Some are hoping to have some aggressiveness and some aggressive recruiting by Lance Leipold to start the dividends, but nothing else is going on for them. They may have a good quarterback in Tyree Jackson, at least a keeper. Jackson's 6'7", has a strong arm, plus he can tuck it and run. He'll be operating behind a decent offensive line that has experience. But their regression to 2-10 after being competitive in 2015 was a sobering experience for the entire program and for the rest of the MAC, which looked improved. There's a lot of experience returning on the defensive side, but those are the same players who gave up the most yards in the conference a year ago. Maybe a little bit better this year. I'm not really counting on it. 2 wins. In the West Division, we come up with the Western Michigan Broncos. Oh boy, 13-1, 10-4 against the spread. Everything looking good for the Western Michigan team. They went undefeated in the regular season, and they gave Wisconsin all they could handle in losing the Cotton Bowl. Nobody really expects a similar season. New head coach Tim Lester has lots of talent to call on. He is led by a solid running back, a powerful offensive line, and a defense that should be the best in the league. They'll be tough, and they'll be the favorite team every game out. What I don't like about the Broncos is they have to plug in a new quarterback, as Zach Terrell is gone. And that's probably going to be Tom Flacco. He's the brother of Joe Flacco in Baltimore, but he still has to win the job. The quarterback will have to be able to hand off and have some minimum defensive honest and a little bit of an arm to keep everybody honest. So expect some teams to stack the defense and stop the run and make the quarterback beat them. The first two games, USC, Michigan State. That's brutal. There were 13 wins last year. I think it's a big peg down this year that they go to 8. Might be 9, but I'm going to go with 8. The Toledo Rockets, 9-4 straight up, 7-6 against the spread. Toledo has most of its core back from a team that won 9 games last year. Looks ready to cause some damage this time. Most of the offense, including the quarterback, Logan Woodside, and 7 of the defensive starters returned. Woodside threw 45 passes last year, marched up down the field for 38 points a game and 518 yards. With many returning, look for a good season. What I don't like about the Rockets, Toledo will be laying out a lot of points as a bettor. You have to be careful in that. Before that, the two are very difficult non-leaguers. They have Tulsa, and they have a battle of Miami coming up. They'll be playing the regular season with expectations for title game. Look for Toledo to lead. They will probably win 9. The Northern Illinois Huskies, oh, what a program it used to be. Northern Illinois had been to a bowl every year since 2008, but that ended as one injury after another seemed to take its toll on them, especially at the quarterback position. Ron Carey, head coach, thinks that things will even out and a solid defense should help keep him from going haywire until the offense can sort itself out. There's an old adage that says when you have more than one quarterback, you don't have any quarterback, and that kind of applies here. Due to injuries, 5 different quarterbacks have started for Northern over the last 26 games. That's not good. The Huskies gave up 1 point for every one they scored last year, which is a letdown considering success they've had in the last decade. It's tough to be in patch mode before preseason practice even start. That's where the Huskies are. They look to return to their elite status, but going to come up a little bit short. Actually, they'll come up a lot short as I look for them to win 5 games again this year. The Eastern Michigan Eagles, 7-6 straight up, 5-8 against the spread. Head coach Chris Creighton is looking to return things to its glory there too. He's happy with the direction the program's going. They played in a bowl game for the first time in 3 decades. They have 16 starters back. They like their quarterback, which is Brogan Roback, who returned from suspension, tossed for 2,694 yards and 18 touchdowns in 10 games. They're stacked in the backfield, which should give the coaching staff time to straighten things out on an experienced offensive line. 3 starters have graduated on the defensive end. Only 1 regular is back, so that will be scrutinized carefully in the offseason. Offenses have been known to collapse under the weight of the O-line. EMU is the most talented Western Division team, but things could get dicey. They will lack the experience. They will win 6 games. Central Michigan Chippewas are the next team on our list. The Chippewas were 6-7, 5-8 against the spread. They returned 15 starters. They figured to be competitive. They should be able to hang around in the middle of the MAC. Probably not going to lead to a title, but they are even money to play in a bowl game for the 3rd straight season. They have shown over the last few years that they know how to win, and there's something to be said for that. It all boils down, as it does for many teams, to the quarterback, and CMU is still searching for one to replace Cooper Rush. They will be using a new spread offense, and there could be some problem with that, especially in the early going. Problem with the special teams cropped up last year, and they have not seemed to have been addressed. 6-7 last year, I'll look for them to win no more than 6 again this year. The Ball State Cardinals, 4-8 was their record in 2016, 7-5 against the spread. The Cardinals have figured to be underdogs in probably every game that they're going to play in. So if you'd like to play dogs, this could be your opportunity to cash. If Ball State can stay in games in the fourth quarter, they have one of the best place kickers in the league in Morgan Hague. Morgan Hague hit 26 of 28 last year and could steal a win or two. What I don't like about Ball State, they're just not there yet. They're inexperienced. There's trouble around every corner. Offensive problems inherited without a top-flight quarterback. Ball State's a year or two away from being a factor in the conference. Ball State will win 4 games, maybe 3. I like the fact that they're going to steal a game or 2, so I'm going to go with 4. This has been the conference preview for the MAC conference. I'm Tom at Noop Sports. Please check us out. knupsports.com. We'll help you make money on betting sports. Or if you have a question or you have anything of interest, check us out on the web or on Twitter.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Noop Sports Show. If you enjoyed this podcast, please consider subscribing to our iTunes channel today. Plus, visit us at noopsports.com for more picks, previews, strategy, and news. That's knupsports.com.